All right, Chad, officially got you here. Hans Temisto, FightHype.com. How you doing today, man?
I'm doing good. How you doing?
No complaints, no complaints, man. It's not every day that you get to talk to somebody like a former world champion on Zoom. So, great to talk
All
to you.
right. That's what's up.
So, wanted to talk to you about Jake Paul a little bit. I know I saw on your social media that you was actually getting some sparring in with him.
Yeah.
So how exactly was that? Like in your honest truth, like did he look better than you were expecting? Was this like your first time you guys sparring?
Yeah. It was my first time sparring him. We sparred last Wednesday. No, Thursday. Sparred last Thursday. No, we sparred on Wednesday, Tuesday, then again on Thursday.
Okay.
So we got 3 sessions in, and I mean, I'm gonna be honest. I was shocked, because being on the outside looking in, kind of seems like a gimmick. But then when I got there, I actually seen how he trained and the people he have around him. Man, in my opinion, he's taking it pretty serious.
So would you still classify Jake as a YouTube boxer, quote unquote, or do you look at him as an official boxer now?
Mm, he's a boxer. He's a boxer. I mean, even though he doesn't have the experience yet, but for me, like I said, I spar with him, so I can see his flaws, and I can see the things he does good, and he does some things good, and he does some things that are kind of Emmerish, but I think he does more things that are more pro than Emmerish. You know what I'm trying to say? But he's learning. I can see he's learning. He's
Gotcha.
thinking. He's not just in there throwing like crazy punches. He's actually thinking, and he's actually trying to hit you with a good shot. He's thinking.
So in your honest opinion, the whole fight with Hasim Rahman Jr., it's, officially off or quote unquote off, not 100% sure, but how do you think that fight would have played out?
I mean, just from hearing everything that's going around his camp, and I mean, I just didn't see any way he was going to make 200 pounds. I mean, I just didn't.
But let's live in a fantasy world where he did make 200
Yeah,
pounds, or Jake was cool with fighting him at 205. Do you think Jake would have kept his win streak going, or do you think Hasim would have stopped him or beaten him?
I'm gonna be honest. Look,
Mhm.
it's boxing. I mean, Rockman definitely has more experience. I mean, I think that if they were on even battlefields, whereas if the weight they didn't try to cut him down so much on the weight part,
Mhm.
if and I think it would have been Rockman all day. But because of the stipulations they had in the contract where he had to get down to I think 200 or 205 or something like that, I don't think I think that was too much weight though for him to lose. He's a big guy. You know what I'm saying, and I think that would have been too much weight for him. I think if that was the way the fight they were going to go, and the fight was still going to happen, and he was going to be had to get down to 205, I think Jake probably might have could have. I'm not saying he would have, but he probably would have had a better chance of winning.
So, all right. So, I just want to make sure I clarified. So, if it was at 200 or 205, would you have favored Paul, or would a part of you still had said, Hasim has, all of the tools and probably would have won that fight?
I probably still would lean toward Rockman
Mm.
because you still even in the short period that Jake's been boxing, still not enough to accumulate the experience that Rockman has.
Mm.
Right. So I mean, don't get me wrong. Jake Paul, like I said, he got, but he surprised me. I thought I was gonna get in there and pretty much just play around him with him and just move around. But no, he's actually in there looking to land a big shot.
Gotcha. Makes sense. So another thing I wanted to ask you is because I know you're cool with Jake, but would you have seen that fight ending in a stoppage or probably like a points win? Like how, like if you just break it down exactly how it probably would have gone.
You know what I'm gonna say this? Jake, he's very ring savvy. In
Okay.
a short period of time he's been boxing, he's very ring savvy. If he doesn't want to get hit, he knows when to retreat. He knows when not to. And that's what I say when I say he's thinking.
Mm.
He's not. when it's dangerous, it gets hot, he's gonna retreat. You know, he's not gonna just sit there and just let you. You know, he's gonna move. So I think Jake has enough experience that maybe he could because Rockman is kind of like slow as far as like hand speed.
Yeah.
Now Jake Paul, he pretty much he has good hand speed, and I think that he could have maybe got to a decision. I don't know about winning, but maybe he could got to a decision.
In your opinion, what do you think is the best thing that Jake does really well in the ring? You know, from a lot of outsiders' perspective, like you said before, they kind of look at it as a gimmick. But you know, you've been in there a few times. So what's like the best thing about him in sparring?
The best thing is he's thinking. He's always thinking. That's the best thing. And as a fighter, you know, when you stop thinking, that's when things go wrong. But the best I can say is that he's constantly thinking. He's looking to land the shot. Like he's not just in there throwing punches. And, he's looking to set you up and land a shot. And that says a lot. I mean, if Jake Paul was to walk into my gym and I saw him hitting the back, something like that, I would definitely, okay, maybe this kid could become something. He definitely has the potential to get better.
So since he has the potential to get better, before the fight officially, quote unquote, got canceled because Rock is actually still training and still trying to like make the weight. So, it's kind of a touchy subject. But before that whole thing happened, the WBC kind of came out and said, if Jake was to win,
yeah, I saw that.
Put him in the rankings. Do you think that's the right way to go? Do you think Jake? Okay.
No, because you got guys that've been, trying to crack the top 10, in the WBC, or even get ranked. Why would you? I mean, I don't think I wouldn't have agreed with that. But maybe rank them, but not that high.
Gotcha.
I mean, Rockman is a pretty much a big name, right? I mean, what is he ranked by the WBC? Maybe if he beats Rockman, maybe put him above Rockman.
Okay, that makes sense.
But don't just rank them. Don't just rank them out of because.
In your honest opinion, do you see Jake Paul eventually fighting for a world title, winning a world title? It doesn't have to be this year, next year, but if he just keeps progressing, probably keeps sparring you, picking your brain, everybody else's brain, do you eventually see a point where he'll just be like, okay, he's ready for a world title?
This is what I think. I think that Jake and his team, I think that they should start over. Start getting some really treat it like a real professional career, and start getting them guys, that he can beat, just to get them used to being in the ring and used to throwing punches and getting hit by punches. You got to start them like I would treat him just like a upcoming fighter who just turned pro, about to have his first fight. I mean, that's how I would treat him. And he's got the name already, and so people are gonna watch him anyway. So it doesn't really matter who he fights.
Yeah, but that's kind of like the hard part. I mean, yeah, you probably make sense where he should probably start over and not fight like the MMA guys and the basketball players.
Yeah, maybe start from 0-0 and fight boxers. I mean, he's good enough. He's good enough, in my opinion. He's good enough to the point where you can start him from 0-0 and get him guys. Look, when my first 5-6 pro fight, I fought guys, who were 2-1, 3-4. I mean, so that's not gonna hurt him. Just I would treat his career just like that. I was treat him as a up and coming fighter, just turning pro.
But even if he was to continue on this trajectory that he's on right now, but like I said before, like, do you see him just advancing to the point where he's just like, okay, he's ready for a world title shot, man?
Years and years, man. It's years. Like I said, it takes years. So he's 20, how old is he? 23, 24?
About 24, 25, somewhere around there.
So, I mean, I'm not. Look, he's learning. I just said he's learning. He's learning. I'm not gonna say he can't because anything is possible. I might say no, and then 5-6 years from now he's fighting for a world title. So I don't want to say no, but he still got a lot of work to do. he still has a lot of work to do before I could feel comfortable put him in with a real fighter. I mean, like a guy who's 10-0 or 10-1 or 10-2.
Gotcha.
I mean, not right now. I think nah. Nah. I'm gonna say no.
Gotcha. So then, I have to ask you because, when the whole cancellation thing happened, if I'm not mistaken, I did see you on social media. You were just like, "Hey, Jake,
Yeah.
I'm down for this."
Yeah, I mean,
so how serious?
Yeah, I mean, look, I'm 40 years old. I mean, I haven't fought in high competition in years. Why not? I mean, we'll give him a nice we'll give him a fight. I mean, let him see that. I mean, like boxing is a real sport. It's real. I mean, and I'm not saying that I want to go out there and hurt him or beat him up, but I just want to, show him we can make it a nice boxing event, nice little boxing match. I show him some things,
But Chad, I have to pause you because it kind of sounds like you're just like, if I get in there with him, I'll take it easy on him, show him a few things in there and still win, as opposed to going in there and just trying to take his head off.
Yeah. Because you know why? Because we all know it's an advantage. Who would even? I don't think anybody would even say it in that. So, but I mean,
probably not.
So, I mean, but I'm willing to get in there. I'm willing to get it with anybody, So it doesn't matter. I'm in shape. I pretty much I'm ready to go.
Gotcha.
Any given time, anybody.
Gotcha. Makes a lot of sense. Not sure if that'll actually happen, but Jake Paul was Hasim's sparring partner at one point, and they were about to fight. So you never know.
Yeah, I was kind of iffy about that too because I didn't understand why they wanted to spar me. I wanted to see what was going on. So I obliged. I went down there, and I got to see firsthand that he trains like a fighter. He was getting ready for this fight like it was a real fight.
Gotcha.
He had sparring partners out there, like three or four different sparring partners.
Was it sparring partners pros as well, or was it guys?
Yeah, they were pros. They were pros. They were pros. I mean, they were pros.
Would you be able to like name drop, or you're just like,
No. I don't want to name drop, but
okay,
pros.
And he was looking good throughout all of the sparring, not just with you, but just in sparring in general.
Yeah, he looked good, like he was in shape. He was getting ready for a fight. Yeah. I mean, like we did 3 rounds. 2 times we did 3 rounds. The last day of his sparring, we only did 1 round.
Okay.
But he did a good he did some good solid sparring.
How would you rate his power? Because it kind of seems like when he's hitting guys, they're just going out cold, like the Tyron Woodley.
No, he can punch. He can punch. I mean, he can punch. I mean, if anybody sits right there and just let him hit him, he's gonna hurt you. He can punch. Like I wouldn't just sit there and just let him just hit me. No, I wouldn't do that because he can punch. He's definitely strong. Physically, he's strong and he's in shape.
Would you say that his power was maybe surprising to you?
Yeah, I'm gonna say that he was. I didn't expect him to be as strong as he was. I didn't expect punch apart. Haven't had that much pop on his punch, but he does. He has some pop. He definitely got some pop.
Okay, that's interesting to hear.
Yeah, he has some pop.
Was there any time in the sparring where, maybe the first time you stepped into the ring with him, you were just, maybe trying to take it easy, trying to feel him out, and then he came out pretty strong, and you're just like, okay, now I have to turn up a little bit. Like, was there any part that happened in that sparring?
So the first day we sparred, I think he used that day as really pretty much a filling out day because the first day we sparred, he didn't really, he was pretty much on the defense. Pretty much, I was pressuring him, and trying to get him to open up and throw some punches, but he really didn't fall for it. But the second time we sparred, he was more active, more aggressive. He tried to be more aggressive with me. He actually landed more punches the second time we sparred. I'm not saying he landed a lot of punches, but he landed a couple jabs, And then the last time we sparred, I pretty much they told we were only gonna do 1 round, so I said, all right, we're only gonna do 1 round, so I'm gonna touch him up a little bit. Okay. But I mean, it was good. He's getting better. He's getting better.
Gotcha. Do you feel as though if you were to get the opportunity against Jake and I know you said earlier that you'd probably try to take it a little bit easy on him, but do you feel that if you got into the ring with him in a real sanctioned fight, you could actually go out there and stop him and hurt him?
Yeah.
Mm.
I'm not saying I could just go out there off the rip and just, because like I said, he's thinking. He's always thinking. He thinks a lot, and I like that about him, that he thinks. So when we're in the ring, I think eventually I'll be able to get him out just from my experience. Just from experience and just from my ring side. I feel like I could be a threat to anybody. Anybody out there, I still feel like I'm a threat. So, yeah, I definitely feel like I could get him. I definitely get him out of it.
And just my last question. It's a little crazy, but Jake is always talking about wanting to fight Canelo. Canelo is, if I'm not mistaken, 31 right now or so. So let's just say a few years down the line, Jake were to fight a few more YouTubers, he would have fight a few more professional boxers and keep on gaining that experience. Canelo gets a little bit older, maybe 35 or so. Can you see a world where Jake Paul actually fights Canelo and beats him? Because Jake is pretty significantly bigger than Canelo.
Nah.
Not at all.
Nah. Look, I like Jake. And I like the progress he's made over the last 2 or 3 years that he's been boxing. But sometimes you gotta pick your battles wisely. Like Canelo's Canelo, man. Like I'm pretty sure he'll be in tip-top shape until he's 40, 45 years old. Nah. I mean, you gotta be realistic. Nah.
Gotcha.
I think against Canelo, I think he probably, not saying that it would happen, but he'd have a better chance of beating me than beat Canelo.
Gotcha. Okay. It's pretty interesting. Jake might take you up on that offer one of these days, man. He just might.
Oh, we'll see. We'll see.
It'll be great to see. But I really appreciate you taking the time, man. Fans,
No doubt.
you're one of the best fighters ever. If you could just tell the fans where to kind of reach you at on Instagram, Twitter, they'll love to follow you, man.
Yeah, you reach me at Chad Dawson on Instagram. Bad Chad Dawson. No, Chad Dawson on Facebook. And Twitter. Bad Chad Dawson on Twitter. I'm on Twitter too. So I'm not really into the social media stuff like that, but I try to stay on top of it. But just reach out, hit me up.
Gotcha. Thank you, brother. Really appreciate your time, man. We'll talk again.
Thank you.